All right, so this video is all about how to think like a programmer, how to develop a mindset like a coder. You're learning AppScript, you're learning the code behind Google Sheets, and I wanted to give you sort of an overview and some tips, at least advice, over how to think like a programmer. Now that I've been doing it for many years, I really wanted to go back and think about like when I knew nothing, or I tried some things, I attempted some things, and I was like, oh, it was always like complex, and it always seemed like everything was ahead of me. Now I still think everything's ahead of me, but I've always heard bad advice as well. So I want to actually go to ChatGPT and ask how to think like a programmer. I bet like the answer is going to be like something like break down the problem into simple like parts, like atomic elements. Exactly. Okay, it said it involves problem solving mindset, break problems down into smaller parts. Yeah, because complex problems can be overwhelming. Analyze the problem, come up with a plan. Yeah, this is all the kind of advice that I hear all the time. And it's terrible advice. Like, it's just pure, like, it doesn't make sense when you are starting. This kind of advice doesn't make sense when you know nothing or you know very little how to, like, think like a programmer. This is the basic, this is the common advice. And AI just proved it, right? AI, ChatGPT just sort of went through all of the advice and got like the most common advice. And it's so trite and it's ineffective. You can't analyze the problem if you don't know how to code. Like you can't come up with a plan if you don't know what to do, what elements are the basic elements. And testing the solution, okay, that's on the path, sort of. As you implement your solution, be sure to test it to ensure that it is correct and effective. Be prepared to iterate. Yeah, like iterating is good. Making changes, be flexible, understand the problem, and you're going to like figure out the solution, right? Document your work. Like, okay, it's fine for like working programmers. Like this is all fine and well if you are in the mode of working. But if you're just starting out, right? Like I'm trying to help you get better at AppScript. And I think this kind of advice is just terrible. So I came up with my own advice. And again, this is coming from a few years of programming myself in Google Sheets. I wanted to think of and recall sort of what are the actual steps that I did. And maybe this is more like habits of a programmer or like good things to do, good behaviors to have. The mindset, my personal belief is that the mindset comes from the actions, right? Your behavior will show your thinking. So let's just get started. Enough with the talk, enough with the introduction. I thought that ChatGPT would be very helpful, and it was to show me what is considered the best advice. But here's my advice. All right, the first thing I would recommend is don't memorize. Do not think that you will remember everything. And literally, you cannot remember everything. So one of the practices early on I did was I would just read the documentation through and through and like try to memorize all of the options. Don't do that. Now, that did help me understanding what is available. But what I really want to get across to you through this course and through more videos about AppScript and more videos about into code is learn the process. Watch the process, right? As I do things, I might go over to Google Help or I'll use IntelliSense or like the autofill. I'll use the autofill because I won't remember, is it get active spreadsheet or is it get active sheet? I didn't know that for years and I just tried, which will be another. That's a spoiler alert. Figure out how to search. I routinely, when coding and when programming in AppScript, I will literally go to Google a lot because I just don't remember the syntax. I don't remember this, but I know that it exists. I know there's documentation somewhere online, and I have to figure out what to search for. Literally, I have to know, okay, early on, I was looking for gas, G-A-S. I would add that to search my search. I would type in a word and then add gas. That didn't help. I had to type out Google Apps or yeah, now that's what I do. I sort of I think of the action that I'm trying to do, and then I add Google AppScript at the end of the search. And more times than not, I'll get a Stack Overflow, I'll get some results that even if I didn't get the exact, I tried and I'll try to figure out the actual words later. Don't memorize the code, but do remember and try to figure out the words and phrases that are used. Like in Spreadsheet Automation 101, I talk a lot about like functions, arrays. These are things that come up literally all the time. Like literally every single time you're coding, you're working with functions, you're working with arrays. Know those words. Know those particular words that come up all the time. And you don't have to sit there and memorize them. One of the hardest things for me when I was learning to code other languages is the first set of material would be a lot of defining a word and then telling you what that word meant, but I didn't understand the context, and it was very hard for me to understand, when are you going to use this? How are you going to use this? Well, what I realized now years later is that those words were great to say, okay, is there a function to do X? How do I access the first element of an array is much easier to search for, and you'll get the right answers than how do I get the first thing in a list, for instance. If I know the word array is a list of elements, great, now I can search for array all the time. So watch out for the words and phrases that I use in Google Apps Script and in these videos, and understand like perhaps you don't need to memorize what a function is, what an array is. You're going to work through it. The second thing I will say, and I would say let's try, that's sort of a mindset that I have, is just go for it. Like hit save, hit run, put that function inside your Google Sheet and just try it. Just go for it. Give it a go. Give it a try. Get the steps that you're working through into your muscle memory. So just like I said, don't try to memorize. Your muscles are going to remember. So your muscles are going to remember, okay, hit publish, hit save, hit run, go for it, go for it. Your muscle will get that memory. And there's lots of tools that exist to catch errors. There's logger.log, there's try catch, which I don't actually use that much, but it's extremely useful if you're like, I don't know if this particular code will run, so you can put it inside of a try catch and then catch the error. Sometimes the error code will be in a weird place, so just find out where that error code shows up in the log, in your screen. It'll give you a big red bar, and there's lots of debugging tools in coding in total, but also in Google Apps Script. Which brings me to seek errors. This is the third advice I would try to imbue upon you. Is do not be afraid of errors. They're like tiny baddies along the way on certain like smaller early levels of a game. Like these are things like if you see a baddie, you know you're on the right path. Like if you don't get an error and like nothing happens, you're like, oh, what happened? Like you don't know. Seek out the error. Try to change your code early on when you're coding. And if you watch some more of the videos in Spreadsheet Automation 101, check out what error occurs if you misspell something or you don't use a dot. There's a video called Dot Notation, right? All about the dots. Take a dot out, run the code, see the error you get, and get familiar with the fact that you're going to see errors. Now, here's something I will go backwards a little bit. Search for errors. I don't know why I didn't do this, but it actually was a very late occurrence or reminder for me is you can literally copy and paste errors and search for those. You might have to add Google Script. You might have to add App Script at the end of these errors, but go ahead, like Google for them. Literally copy and paste the error, and you'll see documentation, and you'll see people with those errors, and then what the issue is. But I mean, out of all of this, honestly, if this is the one thing you remember, please remember this. If you can only remember one thing, seek out errors. Early on, hit the wrong button, name things wrong, and hit run. See what errors you get so that you know, okay, later on when you think you're doing the right thing and you get an error, oh, it's because I misspelled something. Oh, it's because I didn't have a dot. It's because, oh, this is undefined. This is null. There's nothing here. Oh, yeah, that's not a function. Learn that. I think I talk about this a little bit in some other videos, but one weird thing about errors is that sometimes when you get an error, the actual error isn't in the line or the error that they're telling you. It's just before that. So something just before your code that's running and you get the error, It's actually the thing just before it that is causing the error. So causation of error is going to be interesting to learn and understand. So seek them out. Like find them out early on. See the error that you get when you misspell something, intentionally misspell something, so you can see that when you unintentionally misspell something, you'll see the same error. Speaking of error and error documentation and searching for things, read more. Now, this is something that I had to learn this myself too. The answers are usually somewhere online. In my videos, I'll probably go faster than you expect. Sometimes I'll go faster than you want. You'll have to pause. You'll have to watch that video again. You'll have to see what I do step by excruciating step. I might say something and then do something else or not say the entire thing that I'm typing. So you'll have to pause and retype it. But I'm also very weary that a lot of the things that I do and say are in text somewhere. You can search for them. You can find them. There is an entire huge amount of documentation on Google itself about Google Apps Script. Read it. I did spend, like I told you before, I tried, there were times when I just go through the list of things, read it, and try to memorize it, and I was, now that's so silly. But I would read the documentation to get a flavor of what examples are being used, how do they use that. And I hope, my hope is that Better Sheets is like 10x that, right? The help documentation is going to give you like one example. I hope that over the next few years that there are tens and dozens and hundreds of examples that you're looking for of how to use this formula or how to use this app script, or how the use cases of these things are infinite. And I hope that Better Sheets is a resource like that. I'm adding more and more resources literally all the time, more use cases. So if you don't understand the thing as it's written right now, look for more use cases and see it again and again. And I would just say, read more, read more, read more. Keep reading. So if you get through and you're like, I understand this now, keep reading. Read just a little bit extra, see if there's any limitations or anything. And that brings me to the last thing is don't stop. Obviously, we're going to stop after this piece of advice, but I can't tell you how many times I've stopped myself and been disgruntled and dismayed and disillusioned. And I was like, I'll never learn this. Like, I can't do it, right? I'll never learn this is usually a byproduct of like, I can't do this. And like, if you can't do something, keep going, keep trying, never stop, don't halt, don't slow down. Oh, sorry, you can slow down. We all slow down. We should slow down a little bit. I should slow down in some of these videos, but don't stop. Keep trying. I'll tell you a little anecdote. When I, about a year ago, sometime in 2021, I was like, I should build a Google Sheet add-on. It's one of those tools, kinds of tools that I was like, I should probably build one. And I created a Google Sheet add-on, and I put it into like I went through the OAuth process, and I tried to put it on the marketplace, and I got stopped. Like, there was some issue with it, and they emailed me back. Like, this is sort of the normal process is you put it up there, there's some issue with it, and you fix that issue. And it can be like 20 issues, it could be 1 issue, it could be 5 issues. And I literally was like, where is this thing that you're trying to, I need to edit this thing? Where is it? And there's this back and forth email literally for weeks and weeks and weeks where I keep asking, where can I edit the thing that you're asking me to edit? And they would say, in here. And I'd be like, I don't know where that is. Long story short, that add-on doesn't exist. I never got through it. About a year later, just a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, actually, I created my first Google Sheet add-on. It's available now because I had gone through that process before. I had gotten stopped, and I was like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to get this done no matter what. I also had some help. I think I actually talk about this in another video, is I did get some help, right? I read Alice Keeler's great documentation about how to create a Google Sheet add-on that she only put up in 2022. So I didn't have that resource before to read. So I just read that all the way through. I did it step by step, what she recommended, and I went through the same emails of, hey, this is a problem. Okay, I'll fix it. Here's a problem. I'll fix it. And it went through. I didn't stop. I just slowed down for a few months, almost a year, and I got through. So you can get through it and use other people's code and other people's projects, not as oh, that is something I want to do, but rather as an example of it can be done. Right? If somebody else is doing something that you're trying to do, understand it can be done. They didn't fake it. They made it, and you can make it too. And you can automate your processes. You might have to be a little creative, and don't take this advice, please, of ChatGPT, of breaking down problems. I do think that breaking down problems into its smaller parts is essential to programming, but it's not something like you can really do. Like, you have it or you don't, and actually you might be someone who builds from bottom up or top down. And both of those are perfectly fine. I think breaking problems into its smaller parts is top down, but understanding a lot of different small parts and figuring out how to put them together, that's a different skill set. And I think both of those for programmers are easily acceptable and useful. You might be stronger in one than the other. You might see connections that other people don't see, or you might want to, but I think also you can just do it. You can just try it. So to summarize what I said, to think like a programmer or develop the mindset of a coder, don't memorize anything. Understand and learn the process, and know that the documentation is out there. Try things, get it into your muscle memory, do it, go for it, hit that publish, hit that, go run something. Seek out errors. You're gonna get errors. So seek them out early on and understand what they mean. Like what the actual words in the errors mean. Read more. You're just going to have to read a lot more than you ever imagined. Like, I imagine like programming is probably like 90% reading, 10% coding. Truly, like for every piece of code I write, I've probably read like 10x. Right? And don't stop. I'm here for you. You can email me anytime. You can also just watch a bunch of videos, right? And see what other people are doing. If nobody else is doing something you're trying to do, email me and let me know what's this new thing you're trying to do that no one on earth has ever tried before. I would love to know. Don't stop. Email me and let me know the new thing you're trying to do that nobody has done anymore, and let me know. I'd be really happy to see some unique stuff. All right, that's how you think like a programmer. You can develop the mindset of a coder, and it won't be overnight. Definitely won't be overnight. Thanks for watching. Get coding. Bye.